Most people struggle to respond when somebody asks the all too familiar question, what do you do? And because of that, they're missing out on marketing opportunities every day. My name is Kurt Stockwell, and as a StoryBrand certified guide with over 11 years of marketing experience, I've helped hundreds of businesses create marketing that actually works. You're listening to the One-Liner Workshop podcast, and in every episode, you'll learn how to create a powerful one-liner that'll make people want to do business with you. Marcy Morrison is a corporate wellness consultant who helps companies reduce healthcare costs by improving employee well-being and fitness. Her business focuses on assisting other health professionals in getting their programs into corporations to amplify their brand and increase profits. Marcy had a decent one-liner, but it contained too much corporate jargon, and in this episode, we help her refine her one-liner into something great. Check out this episode to discover how we helped Marcy elevate her communication to attract more of her ideal customers. Let's get started. Hey, Marcy, thank you for coming on the podcast, the One-Liner Workshop. I really appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation. So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your company.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, Kurt. This is great. So I own a corporate wellness consulting company. And what that means is that I go into organizations and help them with their employee health, well-being, wellness, fitness. I help those organizations keep health, fitness, wellness top of mind for their employees and their family members, because obviously healthy employees, happy employees, well-balanced, less stressed employees make better employees. But also some of the issues that are fully preventable through lifestyle changes are costing unbelievable amounts of money for these organizations who pay the health insurance in the United States. So I also help them manage the costs. After we have the program in for a while and we put these bona fide wellness programs in, we can actually lower the cost of healthcare for them. So it turns out to be a win-win for everyone. The employees are getting healthy. Their family members are getting healthy. They're building sort of that legacy of health instead of that legacy of disease. And the employers are happy because their employees are getting healthier.
Yeah,
so
fewer sick days, those kind of things. Yeah.
Absenteeism is decreased. There's something called presenteeism, which is when people are there, but they're not really there. They're thinking about something else. They're worrying about something else. They're not feeling well. So they're sitting there, but they're not productive at all. And that's a big problem. It costs billions of dollars a year. They just have named it presenteeism. So that is one of my businesses. And that's the one that I've been doing for 13 years. And I've worked with 150,000 employees so far. Within the next 5 years, I will have 1 million because I'm helping now. So the second thing I do, and we talked about this, is I help health and wellness professionals. This is my one-liner for you in this other business. I help health and wellness professionals get their programs and services into corporations so they can amplify their brand, their impact, and their profits. And the reason I started that one is because every time I met a health coach or a fitness professional or a yoga instructor, they'd say, oh my gosh, how did you get into corporate wellness? How'd you do that? I want to do that. I want to help more people. So the two businesses are close together. But the passion project, well, they're both passion projects, but I really am passionate about helping those health and wellness professionals because I see so many really talented people in that industry who can't make a living. And it's really not right.
Yeah. Yeah, people they've got the talents, they've got the desire, they've got the passion. They just can't get in front of the right person.
And the market is so crowded and so loud, and 10,000 people doing the same thing that you're doing. And unless you're an influencer, really hard to get that. So most of the people who actually find me say, I don't want to post on social media. I'm not going to be pointing on Instagram. So they find, and I help them with a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine that the gatekeeper at some of these larger companies are really hard to get past.
Oh, yes.
And that's probably what these individuals, they got a great program. They just can't get past the gatekeeper. So you're kind of the one that you've got an inside track. You know how to get past the gatekeeper. You know how to say the right things to the right people to go, you need to meet this individual who can help amplify your health and wellness program that you already kind of have running in place here. So we talked off camera a little bit before we started on kind of what we wanted to do with this conversation today. And what we landed on is the one-liner that you just gave us is fantastic. And what we want to do, though, today is we want to take that great one-liner and make it a little bit more palatable for the average person, which is going to be a really fun conversation because one of the things that I often tell people is your one-liner should be simple enough for anybody to understand and anybody to be able to repeat. Now, you said you had some previous training with this one-liner where you had somebody help you create this elevator pitch, this one-liner from kind of a more corporate standpoint, which is great. What I do is, or what I say is I call that more of a trade show version. But what we want to do today is kind of, let's work on your backyard barbecue version of this one-liner.
Great. Yeah, because you never know how I'm going to meet at a backyard barbecue. They could be a yoga instructor.
Exactly.
Needs to get some clients and wants to do this. So yeah, let's do it. So I think my real goal is to make health and wellness professionals understand that there is a great revenue stream that's a huge brand amplifier, because as soon as you get into a corporation, that really increases your visibility. You put it on your marketing materials and people suddenly think you're the best thing that ever happened because ABC Corporation works with them. You impact a lot of people, and those people oftentimes can't afford you because the organization is paying for it. And of course, you make more money. I mean, you're making really pretty good money going into an organization and just doing a workshop.
Many health and wellness professionals struggle to make consistent money.
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right. I understand what that means.
I think personal...
We could say consistent revenue.
Yeah.
Consistent money works too. So many health and wellness professionals struggle to make consistent money. So health and wellness, now, even if we made this a little bit more simple, like, tell me what a health and wellness professional is.
So
like, how can we make that even more simple to understand?
So a health and wellness professional for me is anyone who delivers programs to help people get healthy, well, fit. So it could be a health coach, personal trainer, yoga instructor, mindset person, meditation specialist. So anyone in that space who helps people with their health, well-being, fitness, weight, anything that
anything.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll probably want to keep it at health and wellness professionals. Because if what we don't want to do in this answer is to say, comma this, many people who do like fitness instructors and yoga instructors and people who run spin classes and coaches and, mindset people, then you're starting to like, okay, you're losing me. But what I could see happening is if you unpack the problem as many health and wellness professionals could struggle to make, would you say that these are individuals who own their own business?
Yes.
Okay.
Even ones who work elsewhere. I mean, if you work in a big gym, sometimes they make $12 per session or $12 like it's really small dollars. So hopefully those people work for themselves or work, yoga instructors can, work for someone else and make a certain fee per class. So some of them are self-employed, some of them do online programs, and some of them have a brick and mortar business.
So if we made this even a little bit more honed in and said, many health and wellness professionals who run their own business struggle to make consistent money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That helps my mind go, okay, you're talking about like an individual. And now I'm thinking about my neighbor who's the yoga instructor.
Yes.
Okay. That helps me.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's the problem. And so if we said that the solution was, I help wellness professionals and get their programs and services into corporations. Okay, so so that's our solution, but let's simplify it a little bit. So tell me a little bit about what you do there. How do you help them get into these corporations?
When you get to a huge company with hundreds of thousands of employees, you're going to have 12 gatekeepers before you even get to any decision maker, and you're going to quit before you start. So I say start in your backyard with a company that you may pass along the day, or even better yet, that client that you have that you're working with and your trainer is coming into your yoga classes, say, hey, I'm thinking about this. I'm going to start doing corporate wellness. And would you be able to introduce me to your HR director? It's usually the human resource director or the benefits administrator. Would you be able to introduce me to that person? Because I feel like you'd want more of me, and you'd be great if you didn't have to pay me for more of me, right? And so you can approach your own clients like that, and they always want to help. And sometimes when an employee brings someone in, they love that because they think, okay, they're already vetted. They're in our neighborhood. That's if you're doing an on-site program. So I sort of teach them all the ways to create a warm lead out of that business that's down the street from you that you pass all the time, and who to talk to, and then what to say.
So would you say it's that many large corporations have funding available for wellness programs?
Oh yeah.
And I connect these corporations to these wellness professionals so they can, and so, because we've unpacked the idea that you help them. Actually, let me ask this question. Maybe we're heading down the wrong path here a little bit, or maybe we're on the right track. Is the biggest problem the fact that they don't have they don't make consistent money? Would you say that everybody that you're working with, that's the thing that they're looking for?
Yeah. I mean, so now we're realizing there are a lot of reasons people want to do this. A lot of reasons. A lot of it is impact. And then we both know, as being entrepreneurs, is that you can do good and do well all at the same time. You want to make a living while you're doing good things for other people. And this is a good way to do it. So, maybe mentioning that you can do good for others and do well at the same time and make a living. I always try to tell them, say all the things you want to do. They all want to, I went into this business to help people. I want to make a difference. I want to help everyone. And then I always say, and put at the end of that sentence, and make a great living doing so. Because you shouldn't have to, forego great income because you're helping people. So some people who can't afford you, they need these services. So to me, this is a great way to make an impact in that way, but also make a great living.
Okay. So I added this to the problem.
Right.
Many health and wellness professionals who run their own business struggle to make consistent money and make a greater impact.
Yeah. I love it.
Or make a greater impact. I get probably it's both and. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now in the solution, many large corporations have let's say it this way. I connect these individuals to corporations who have funding available. Would you say large corporations?
No, they all have funding available.
Okay.
They all
corporations who that, and is the funding like government funding? Is it what is it?
I get paid through insurance companies. A lot of times pay me most of the time. Some companies are self-funded, it's called. So when you pay a premium, it goes into a fund. The fund will pay me. I've worked with government sector who they call them health insurance trusts. So you'll get 10 or 15 entities put together under one umbrella. What I do in my corporate job is complicated. This is not, but what I do can be very complicated when I try to explain it. So I try not to.
Got it.
Try not to go way into that, like at the backyard barbecue.
Yeah. So if we said, and we could probably hum this down a little bit. I connect these individuals to corporations that have funding available, that have funding available for wellness programs. I connect these individuals to corporations that have funding available to hire them for wellness programs.
Yeah.
For their wellness programs.
Yeah. It's a win-win. It can be a long-term big engagement that turns into some really good income.
So then the success is, which means the corporations take better care of their employees.
Oh yeah.
And the wellness professionals, you said something about like they actually make a better living, or what did you say before?
Oh yeah.
And
And make a great living doing so. I want
make a great.
to help people with their health. I want to help everybody. I went into this because I really care. And I say, I know all of that, but you can also make a great living doing so. And you shouldn't have to feel bad about that. They sometimes feel guilty about charging people for what they do. So I think this gives them a better, it makes them feel a little more warm and fuzzy because an organization is paying them, and they're able to work with people who might not have access to them.
So this means corporations take better care of their employees, and my clients. How would we wrap that up? And my clients, and what does it ultimately do for your clients?
Make the impact they want while making the living they want, or while making the money that they desire and that they hope for. Okay. And that's all okay, right? It's all okay to be helping people and making money at the same time. It's okay.
I think we got it. Let me say this back to you. Okay. Many health and wellness professionals who run their own business struggle to make consistent money and a greater impact. I connect them to corporations that have funding available to hire them for wellness programs. This means corporations take better care of their employees, and my clients make a great living while making an impact.
Oh my God. Love it. That's amazing. I love it. That's exactly it. That's what I want to do with this while I grow and scale this business. That's it.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to stick this in the chat.
I see it. I love it.
Okay. Now, Marcy, read this back to me and see if this fits.
Many health and wellness professionals who run their own businesses struggle to make consistent money and a greater impact. I connect them to corporations that have funding available to hire them for wellness programs. That means corporations take better care of their employees, and my clients make a great living while making an impact. I love it. This was great. I'm so glad I did this because, you think you have it down too. I think I have it down. Like, this is what I say. I can spout it off anywhere I go, but taking it down to like, how is this really going to mean anything? Because they still think, I have to work in corporate America. No, you just have to be a consultant and do some workshops and all that. And here's why it's important. And here's what difference you can make. And that was great.
Perfect. So where would you use this first?
Well, the Corporate Coaches Collaborative it's a Facebook group. I also have a course and membership that teaches this. So I will use this when I start talking about it again. I'm going to do some workshops to help people get started, or really like a challenge or a 5-day workshop to say, hey, let's create your first program. So it'll go along with something like that where I'm marketing what I do to health and wellness professionals. This is going to help them understand really so now what? I got into a corporation. So what? Well, let's think about this. And that you gave me the great thing to add to my one-liner. I love.
Perfect. I love it.
I feel like,
Marcy, where can people learn more about you?
So I think the best way for them to find me is just go ask to join my Facebook group. And it's small but mighty. I have a very engaged audience. It's called Corporate Coaches Collaborative. It's my Facebook group. And that's the best way because I give a ton of free information on there.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did with making this connection. And then, like I said, when we first started kind of chatting, you spit out your one-liner to me and I was like, that's actually pretty good. So what are we going to do here today? And so I'm glad that you let me kind of take you through this backyard barbecue version of it. And I think from what your reaction, it kind of made you you had like kind of an epiphany of how maybe even much more impactful this will be, maybe even more than the corporate version of the one-liner.
Oh, definitely. Because it's taking that next step to really get to the heart of those people who are full of heart and saying, here's what can happen when you do this. And as I think you can understand, it's very important to me that we get more people out there doing corporate wellness because it is the way you're helping thousands of people. And we've got to do that. our country's suffering. We really are. So I'm a passionate person about this. And the more people I can reach, the better. And the more people who understand it now, the better. So this has been very helpful.
Great. Well, I'm glad to be a little part of it.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was great to meet you and chat with you.
Well, that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Follow the One-Liner Workshop wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, businesses that succeed in today's marketplace invest in clarity and reject confusion. A great one-liner is just the first step in creating marketing that works. And if you're ready to take all your marketing to the next level, please visit welldressedwalrus.com and schedule a free consultation with me. If you'd like to learn more about StoryBrand and Donald Miller, the creator of the one-liner, check out the book Building a Story Brand wherever books are sold. I'll see you next time for the next episode of the One-Liner Workshop.